What do you think is the greatest human skill? Not habit, but mindset and skill.
That's a great question. I don't know if I got what the greatest, there's so many. It depends on what you want out of your life, right?
Yeah.
But I think the ability to manage your own mind and emotions is probably one of the single most important. And maybe the second is the ability to influence others, because that's what makes you a leader. And hopefully you're doing that for a higher good, because there are all kinds of leaders, as you know. But I don't think most people are very good at emotional fitness. Most people are just not as happy as they could be. I did one book, Money Master the Game. It's kind of like this.
Yes.
Only, and what I did in that case is I interviewed 50 of the smartest financial people in the world.
Yes.
Ray Dalio, Carl Icahn, Warren Buffett. And out of 50 of them, and again, it's in my judgment, I could be completely wrong, and I've spent a lot of time with them. Some have become really good friends. There's probably 4 or 5 that are really happy people. You go, oh, well, money makes people unhappy. Money, it has nothing to do with money. Money makes you more of what you are. It just magnifies. If you're mean, you have more to be mean with. If you're kind, you have more to give, But I think that most people are they haven't learned to manage what's going inside. Doesn't matter how much abundance they have, they're still unhappy. We've all seen people great comedians that have killed themselves. Anthony Bourdain, beautiful man, traveled the world, killed himself, fashion designers that have done it. We've all seen all these different people, Kate Spade. And it's like, what? They had everything, except they didn't master what was going on here and here. And this is why you lived your life the way you have as well. So I think that skill set is the most important one. That's why even in the book, my last 2 chapters, I think are the most important, because it's really about the power of the mind. Because everybody knows about placebos, right? They were only discovered in World War II. And it was discovered by accident. This doctor ran out of morphine, and he's treating these people that are badly injured. And you need the morphine not just so they're out of pain, but so they don't go into shock. And the actual person who discovered this, who gets no credit, was the nurse, because the nurse handed him a syringe and said, we've got some more morphine. So he believed it, and he said, you'll be out of pain in just less than a minute. Wow. He injected them, and in every case, none of them went into shock. 90% of them were out of pain, and they used nothing. It was saline, right? So after World War II, he went back to Harvard, and he was the person that created what we now consider to be the double-blind studies, which are always compared to a placebo, right? And what most people don't know is the bigger the placebo intervention, the more powerful the mind believes it. So a small pill is less effective than a big pill. An injection is more powerful than a pill in terms of its effectiveness. The most powerful is a sham surgery. The Veterans Administration did a study, and they did on people doing knee surgeries, and they took 1/3 of the people and they just cut them open, anesthetized them, and sewed them back up, did nothing. A year later, this group, the group that had no surgery, had the least amount of pain, the most amount of flexibility, so they stopped funding those surgeries, to give you an idea. But that's how powerful it is. And so it's even more than Harvard did a study where they took barbiturates, made these big red pills, and said, this is an amphetamine, you need to prepare your body because you're gonna speed up. They didn't give them something fake, they gave them an actual drug that slows the body down and the body sped up. So most people don't understand the power of the mind. And so what I try to do is show people, even in this book, here are the things that you can do to take control of your mind, because if you take care of your body and then you don't take care of your mind and emotions, you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. What sparked that question was something you said. You said that you start your morning by jumping in the cold.
That's right.
And you never feel like doing it. And you said that, I just say to my body, it's time to go.
That's right.
And that's what sparked the question, because I was like, that's a really interesting skill that you've trained yourself to be okay with discomfort.
Yes.
You're training yourself as your first skill of the day is, I am okay with uncomfortable things.
Yes.
And I know I can get through them.
Yes.
And that to me is what sounds like a really important part of emotional fitness.
It is, because unless you can push through discomfort, most things that are going to give you the greatest reward require discomfort initially.
Yeah.
Right? And the discomfort, it's like, my original teacher, Jim Rohn, used to always say, there's 2 pains in life, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. He goes, discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. And so I've trained myself to do that. And then I meditate. Then I always make an acknowledgement call briefly, or leave a voicemail for someone just to spark the day. And then the first thing I do is always whatever is the most difficult.
Yes.
Because then you have momentum for your day. And when you train your brain to do what's difficult first, then emotional fitness just comes naturally. And more importantly, so does achievement, so does your ability to contribute to other people. Because I have 105 companies now, to give you an idea. I manage 13 of them directly, ongoingly. And, there are all kinds of different industries, from AI to, my resorts in Fiji to sports teams I own. And I mean, it's insane the dichotomy of them. We're doing $7 billion in business, so I got to do that while I'm being a good dad to 5 kids and 5 grandkids, while I'm taking care of my body, while I'm living my normal mission. So if I don't take care of my body and my energy and my mind, I mean, you'd be overwhelmed by all the demands because, listen, all I got to do is pick up my phone and you're going to have all kinds of, oh, that's cool, oh, shit, that's it. Because, what are the chances with thousands of employees on 3-4 different continents now that somebody's messing up? If messing up is not what I think they should be doing, it's 100%. So I'd always be in reaction until I trained my brain to say, no, problems are a sign of life and all they are challenges to be solved. And what makes you a great leader is your ability to solve problems or teach teams to build a culture where they can solve problems. And so it gives me this tremendous creativity and flexibility, but I've got the base of energy to make it work.
Yes, exactly. And you've given yourself your permission to say this matters first before we get lost in the 7 billion and 105 companies and all of that.
Yeah.
And I think that permission's often the toughest part.
Yeah.
But one of the things that stood out to me was I sat down, and this was a really beautiful answer that I want to share with you because I think it will spark where I want to go next. I interview a lot of Navy SEALs, and I like sitting down with people who've had extreme experiences because I feel that extreme experiences have opened up different parts of the brain, different parts of the body that we've never had.
And the spirit.
And the spirit too, exactly. And one of the people I sat down with was Jocko Willink.
Yes, I love him.
He's been a leader for 25 years and incredible Navy SEAL, highly accomplished. And I asked him, and we were on Zoom, right? This was during the pandemic, so I didn't even get to have this with him.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so grateful for this.
Me too.
I sat with him, and I said to him, you've done everything that's difficult and uncomfortable, potentially known to human beings in your field. What's the most difficult thing you've ever done? And I didn't know what to expect, and I never do. I try not to project or predict what I think someone's going to say. And he said to me, the most difficult thing that I've been through is watching a fellow trooper go down next to me and having to carry on the mission without getting the moment to save, to mourn, to hold, to carry. He goes, I just have to continue the mission. And that was just an answer that, he could have said, oh, it was like standing in the cold water, it was doing this, it was doing that. And so I wanted to ask you,